Welcome to the party, pal. That's my new catchphrase. Get used to it. Today, I want to talk about all of the problems with Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Yes, I know I'm very late with this video, but I gotta be honest, the first time I saw this movie in the theater, I kinda liked it. And that's probably the best way to say it. I kinda liked it. Afterwards, talking with friends, we all basically had the same thoughts that, yeah, it was pretty good. It was basically what everybody said, almost verbatim. So it wasn't a disappointment to me, but recently with the release on Blu-ray, I had a chance to rewatch it, and man, are there just some terrible, terrible things going on in this movie. But what I really want to do is point out some of the key, just major plot holes and plot devices that really just do not work in terms of storytelling. So they're going to be sort of separated from the fact that this is a Star Wars movie. And before we get into the plot holes, if you like this shirt and you want to support the channel, what I'm doing here, it's an easy way to do it. Nice, soft material. You can order this shirt right now along with some other designs in our Teespring store. I will put a link in the description below. Now, my big qualm here is there is way too much convenient writing in this movie. Now, Rian Johnson wrote and directed Episode 8, and I like Rian Johnson. I am a fan. I like his first movie, Brick. I like The Brothers Bloom, which a lot of people haven't seen. I recommend it. And I liked Looper. I know some people were split on that. I really liked that movie, so I was very excited that he was doing Episode 8. And like I said, I just kind of liked it in the theater, but man, watching it this week, whoo! So let's just get right into it with the device that connects Leia and Rey across the galaxy. Rey is in a hidden spot that Luke has been just unreachable for decades, for 30 plus years, and they had this little thing that allows a beacon that we get no explanation for how it works. Somehow Finn knows what it is, and it looks like something that they bought at a craft fair. I don't understand how they couldn't have come up with something better than that. Basically, she got there, she should be able to get back. Anyway, and I'm going to jump around in this, so just forgive me, but Finn and his goofy-haired little friend, they get thrown into a cell with a master code breaker, and it's one cell of many. It's not the prison cell in this casino. There's a bank of prison cells. We see just rows of bars. They end up in the one with the code breaker. There's no explanation for that. He breaks out immediately. Why was he waiting around? They had not even agreed to go into business with him yet, and he just leaves. Why was he just... I get that he was taking a nap, but then he's able to escape because guards are playing cards outside. That is the hackiest... What was hackier than the guards playing cards was BB-8 spitting out what seemed to be maybe 4 pounds of coins. How did they all fit in there? Why is there that much storage space that we haven't seen before? How come it didn't slow BB-8 down, or it didn't appear to slow BB-8 down? We didn't hear all of that change rolling around, and it has the ability to spit it out at an almost lethal speed. The problem with stuff like that is it's off-brand. There really weren't elements like that in Star Wars movies, with the exception of characters like Jar Jar Binks fumbling his way around a battlefield. It's slapstick, and yeah, you'd have a character bump their head here and there or something in Star Wars before, but not as a major plot point, not as something pivotal like the way that someone escapes. In the original Star Wars, they're able to escape the trash compactor, where it almost seems like they're going to be crushed. It's one of the most famous scenes in Star Wars history. They're about to be crushed. There's a giant monster in there with them. It disappears because it doesn't want to get crushed. They are about to die. The walls are closing in, and finally R2-D2 is able to hack in and get them and shut it down. It's an amazing scene. It builds tension. It's exciting. You don't have that in this movie. There's too many convenient elements that our characters are just able to kind of slip through and escape. Now, if you've watched any other videos on this topic, you probably noticed one of the major qualms people have is that the ships are running out of fuel. Fuel is not mentioned in any of the previous 7 Star Wars movies with regards to these major ships, yet they appear to be running out very quickly. They do one light speed jump, and then I know days are passing, but still, they're running out before the First Order can catch them in what appears to be the slowest chase scene in movie history. It's slow, it makes the movie slow, and the longer they spend in this scenario where the First Order is chasing them and never catching them, the more it exposes how silly the whole thing is. Now, Carrie Fisher died before this movie came out, and her character, Princess Leia, appears to die, and then suddenly she has enough force power to bring her unconscious body back to the ship. That makes no sense. We know she kind of would have inherently had the Force by being Luke's sister, so that's not far-fetched, but for her to essentially be dead floating in space and to suddenly have enough power to pull her body back in, that's crazy. And what makes it crazier is Carrie Fisher died. They could have just made that Princess Leia's death. I know it's not as grand as it could have been, but now Princess Leia is alive and they have to figure out how to write her out of the story in a way that's not going to be very good. That could have been a shocking, oh my god, Princess Leia is died all of a sudden out of nowhere. Even if they filmed the other stuff, they literally could have cut 30 seconds of footage and made that Princess Leia's death. Would it have been the best death imaginable for Princess Leia? No, but the sudden nature of it would have been gripping, and it would have, in my opinion, been good storytelling. And then there's just little nitpicky things that begin to add up for me, like Chewie's eating what appears to be a rubber chicken. One of the biggest budgets in movie making history, and you can't make something that looks like a real cooked bird. It looks like a rubber chicken, and he's eating it in front of these little things that are obvious attempts at merch development. And that's really what we've got here, is we've got a 2.5-hour toy commercial, because all of the revenue that Star Wars has generated since its inception, 15 billion, billion with a B, of that has been from toys. That's more than the movies, books, clothes, and video games combined. Yes, I said movies. It's more than the movies and all of that stuff combined. I'm constantly distracted by how attractive Daisy Ridley is. Now, Rey is the main character, and I don't have a thing for Daisy Ridley, but in this movie, any close-ups of her skin is flawless, her bone structure is perfect, her face is perfectly symmetrical. She's literally distracting. And again, I do not have a crush or a particular affinity for her, but her looks are distracting. The only time I'm not distracted by how good looking she is when I actually see a full shot of her and see that awful combination of the capri pants with the boots. Now, the scene where Rey meets Luke, which literally ties together Episode 7 and Episode 8, in my opinion, sums up what Disney and Rian Johnson have done with Star Wars. But for context, Luke is Disney. His robotic hand is Rian Johnson, the writer-director. The lightsaber is the Star Wars franchise that Rey, who represents the Star Wars fans, are giving to Disney and Rian Johnson, and this is what they do with it. If you like this video, want me to keep making things where I pick apart things in movies that I don't like versus things that I do like, which I do a ton of on this channel already, let me know in the comments below. I'll keep making these videos as long as you keep watching them. But thanks for watching this one, and you will see me next time.